Olympic hockey show brought to you by the Pub Brain Podcast. We're now going on to Czechia's bench staff. Okay, so Czechia is expected to be coached by Carla MacLeod. Of course, it's expected because obviously she has, of course, had that, recent diagnosis. I'm going to see if we can try and find who our other bench staff are going to be. Right, so tough. I know. Really devastating what she had to go through. It could have come at a worse time, because obviously she's giving up for, the Winter Olympics with Czechia. Obviously, a really tough season with the Charge as well, given how they suffered the most with expansion. Yeah. Are we officially calling that now? Yeah. I feel that Ottawa is struggling the most since the expansion, and we're seeing that in their record. They're not giving the offense that we would expect from Ottawa. They're just not, and they really are struggling right now. I'm not surprised the Sabres are where they are, but I'm very surprised the Charge are where they are. And that's probably because I didn't expect Boston to be. No, I expected Boston. Right, I've got the rest of it now. Okay, yeah, I've got the rest of it now. Yeah, so Carla MacLeod is expected to be the head coach alongside Scott Ribier, assistant coach. Teresa Sadbalova is the general manager who will oversee Olympic preparations. That's about it. That's all I've got. Right. We just spoke on Carla. Yeah, spoke on Carla. Okay, so we say expected because, as you guys know, of course, by now, Carla MacLeod has recently been diagnosed with breast cancer. That was announced not long before the first World Cup Finals rematch of the season on December 2nd, where she did indeed miss that game. Yeah, and it's really devastating, and it's great to see the whole hockey community has been behind her. And it's moments like these which reminds me why I love the PHR, because while we are rivals on the ice, off ice we are just one great big massive family. We all just come together and support one another. Yeah, so that's it. And of course, we are also going to do something at the end of the season. We are also going to make a donation at the end of the season. We'll just decide what to do. So Carla has said she intends to be there for both the Ottawa Charge and Czechia for the Winter Olympics. So she's adamant that she is still going to coach Czechia in Milan. And if she does, there needs to be an almighty roar of applause on that first game that Czechia has. Not too sure what that is. No. But if she manages it, there needs to be just massive raw applause, because obviously this is not easy for her to go through. And I really hope she's going to be there, because she's done so much for Czechia. Yeah! Oh yeah. Let's face it, before Carla MacLeod took charge, Czechia wasn't really seen as being on the map in terms of women's hockey. Now, they weren't really seen as dominant. It was more the Scandinavians and the North Americans. That's what it was right until Carla MacLeod takes over. She takes over, and then the whole program changes, and suddenly Czechia becomes a medals contender. Yeah, you go back to the last 4 World Championships, that includes the 2 that we were aboard, 25-24, and then obviously the 2 we weren't aboard, but it's 23-22. They have been in the bronze medal match each time. And did they win the bronze? Look that up. let you carry on the point. I'll just So she's really turned this program out into somebody that could actually be one day a threat to win the medals. And let's not forget, in the most recent World Championships, we played the Czechs in the semi-finals. The Czechs had a lead going into that first admission, 1-0. 1-0. The Czechs had a lead over Team USA going into an intermission. Now, let that sink in for a moment, because you wouldn't expect a team like that to have a lead over a team like the USA at all. No. You'd expect the US to just be all over them from the get-go. Yeah. But it's completely different now, because obviously we now, because the program now has somebody who knows how to coach women's hockey, knows what they're doing, and you just see a great big difference. I will talk about what happened in 25 in a moment, but I'm just want to try and look up the situation with the bronze. Can't really pick it up. Right. Give a few more seconds. Right, got it. So, in 2022, Czechia won the bronze over Switzerland, 4-2. In 23, they won the bronze over Switzerland in 3-2. And in the last two editions, so 24-25, which means they've been bowled, both losses to Finland, 3-2 in the shootout in 2024, and then 4-3 overtime in 2025. Despite Czechia having a 3-goal lead, our heart breaks for Czechia. I know it's been, more than 6-7 months on now, but I feel like we just still feel really bad for Czechia, because they played actually so well in that bronze medal match. And I think this probably showed the potential that Carla MacLeod had if she could coach a team into a playoff series. Yeah, not really at the time, though. No! Oh, no! Because at the time, Austria only had 1 point over us. So it easily could have been different, yeah. We easily could have took them out, and so could have Boston, yeah. So you just I just feel, and I mean, you still feel really bad for Czechia. Because we can't, obviously, no disrespect to Finland, but Czechia probably should have won that medal. Yeah. That medal probably should have been Czechia's. Yeah, and could have been. Because then, there was 3-0. Czechia had a 3-0 lead in the bronze medal match, and then Finland just basically slowly, bit by bit, just chipped away at it, and ultimately won the game in OT. It was a real heartbreaker to watch for Czechia. Because imagine what wonders that would do to the program, the more medals they could win. Yeah, and just try to show people that, look, we are a team on the rails. We are on the rise. We are on the up. And maybe not now, but maybe in a few years' time, we could be potentially someone who wrestles the Americans and the Canadians for a gold, like how the Finns want to be. Now, I think right now Finland are probably more likely, if there was somebody to break that threshold, that would be them. Do you agree? Yeah, probably, because they've got a bit more experience. And did you see the way they took on the Euro Hockey Tour? And didn't they not have any of the PA there? Nope. Yep. So imagine what's going to happen in Milan. Yeah, but I think Czechia, don't be surprised if one day we see Czechia in a gold match. Obviously, it won't be Milan. But maybe when we get to the next cycle in the French Alps, or after Salt Lake City, maybe that is when we'll see the cracks break and the gaps narrow to the point where actually Czechia and Finland, they could be ones going for gold. Yeah, could be. Yeah, and Czechia's shown it in the last 4 World Championships. Because they've been the bronze. And they've won 2 of them. Yeah, 1-2. Yeah, but that was good. Very good. So, I do not finish that sentence. Do not say because it was Switzerland. Do not say that. Oh, can't get past. Don't even finish that sentence, because I am not getting banned from Prague. You didn't go in 2022? Yeah, because I could. Yeah, because Boris didn't say, can I go abroad? While he was busy on Cheltenham Wine at the karaoke nights. God. Would you have gone though if there was more tap? But also, would you have gone? I know, because obviously it got announced not long after Beijing, and the tickets then got put aside the following week. So I only had a week's notice to think about it. Plus, we didn't know because we were just about to come out from COVID. We didn't know was it safe or not to go abroad. We didn't know. While he was busy committing crimes and breaking the law. Which I think is what you need to be if you want to be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. It's not wrong there. It's not wrong there. Maybe there's hope for Angie Vega yet. Oh dear. But no, yeah, I'll ask that question. If I had more thinking time given to me, and it hadn't been coming on the back of the COVID, I might have thought about it more. But no. Right. So what if the PHR says we're gonna go to Czechia? Would you then? Oh yeah. I've said it a handful of times. We will go abroad if needs be. If needs be. If needs be. Right, no. Yeah, the first... I'll pick up after this, fine. Actually, is my foot on it? Yes, it is. Okay. I've said plenty of times, if Israel wants to go to Europe, we will go. So, Czechia might be the card. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Do not get us banned from Czechia! Plus, you can't talk. You don't follow the World Championship, so you don't get to say. Put it there! Put it there! You don't get to say. No. Just sit. Yeah. So Czechia could easily one day be a threat. And I feel like their time is coming. Yeah, I feel like Czechia is close. I mean, if you can get a lead over one of the powerhouses in any competition, that is itself an achievement. Yeah. But it still feels like there's a long way to go. I mean, Carla's set the foundations and has turned the team around, but they still haven't been able to find ways to get one over US or Canadians at all. So I could easily see Milan. They get easy wins over Switzerland and Finland. Really? Over Finland? Where? I see Finland's and Czechia's game being more of an OT or shootout decider. Well, so I wouldn't say that would be an easy one, but it could happen. I mean, it could happen, but I'm just not sure how confident I feel about saying that would be an easy win. But they're more struggle against US and Canada. Let's just call it what it is. That was a struggle against those two teams. I do. Yeah. Yeah, but when do we think realistically, in terms of Olympics, could Czechia break through? Not this cycle. Too late this cycle. You're looking at probably either the next one, so in 4 years' time, or the one after that. That could be when Czechia breaks through. And I can imagine that will stir a lot of people, but for us, this would just show how well your women's hockey line will be. Well, by that point, it'll be more than 20, nearly 25 years old. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. It just shows how far you've come in the game that you know. I need to check it along, but other people will be the shop. Yeah. Well, I think the day that when Canada or US gets knocked out, but so far just go for gold in the Olympics, that will shock a lot of people because a lot of people won't remember that. Because for a lot of people who watch the women's hockey right now, they're not used to seeing anybody but US and how to go for gold. Whereas in my lifetime, it has happened. Yeah. And it just so happened, the last time these games was in Italy. But of course, I was far too young at the time to recall that. So don't even ask me about what happened in Torino, because I do not remember. I was about 9. Yeah. So that's one thing why it would be a shock. Not because I was checking, because people weren't expecting it. Yeah. So, firstly, do we think Carla will get to Milan? And if we so, how well do you think she's going to do for Czechia behind the bench in Milan? I think she will go. And I think for me, the question is not how well she going to perform, it's how well does her assistant coach perform. Yeah. I'll get the name again. Because if she has to, for whatever reason, if she has to sit out, then he has to then take over. And I just wonder how that's going to work. Yeah, it is. Hold on. Need to find it again. Scott Riviere is the assistant. Right, well, he's going to have so much pressure put on him if for whatever reason Carla has to sit out a game. Yeah, and I just don't know how confident we have in him. Czechia. I think she definitely will go. I think she definitely goes. The question is, how many of these games can she behind the bench for? And how well can we trust in her assistant coach? That is the question that I have going forward. Okay, so that's the question I've got going into this. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and yeah, I have no doubt she'll be able to go. I think she will be able to go. This question is how many of those games are they going to be able to say? Right, she can definitely be behind the bench for. That's all I'm thinking. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we have no doubt that Carla's going to do well as a coach. It's how well will the players perform for her, because as I said, the Charge they're just not with it right now, and I don't think that's her. I think it's because of the because in the game that she missed, they only got 1 goal, whereas if they had scored multiple goals that game, I'd be saying, well, it's because Carla was there. No, only 2 games so far in this season have the Charge scored more than 1 goal. And that's alarming. Yeah, that is quite alarming. They are lacking the offence that we know this team can put on, even if they don't then get the net result they want. Yep. The Charge have lost that offence, and I think it's more free agency that's done that than their expansion. Because yes, Vancouver, like they did with us, took massive swipes at their roster. Vancouver just went so aggressive in the expansion process because they just looked at the 2 World Cup and thought, I'll have that. Yeah. There you got to remember that Ottawa was an unlikely finalist. Nobody picked Ottawa at the start of the season. They still didn't pick Ottawa when we went into the playoffs. Now, not even us. I think us 2 were prepared for it to be Montreal. Yep. You 2 were like, I don't want to play Montreal. I was like, well, tough shit. We'd be able to go back to play them. Yeah. So, yeah. But they're just not firing on the cinema, and it's not her, it's the players, it's the roster. The roster's not gelling. So that's the only issue I've got for Czechia is if the roster doesn't gel, then trouble ahead. Trouble ahead. Because Czechia easily could beat a lot of those teams in Group B. Let's just face it. They could whoop the Italians, they could whoop the French. Rude! Was he gonna go there? You're married to a Frenchman! Rude. Right, I guess we all know who's going to the doghouse tonight then. Woo, dear luck. Right, they could probably easily beat the Germans. The Germans? No, Germany's a good squad. normally are. Okay, they normally are. Back in Czechia, Prague it was a bit of a wobble. We don't know what happened there, but they definitely would not beat Sweden. Oh, thank God for that. They definitely would not beat Sweden, but for the rest of Group B, they could easily walk their backsides. But yeah, God. Yeah. But yeah, so it's really good to obviously Carla again. So that's at least 3 PSL coaches going to be in Milan. Because Canada got Troy Ryan, Corey Chevrolet. Yeah, Chevrolet being the assistant. Yeah. And then Czech's got Carla. So only the guys haven't got their coach going to go to Milan. Well, yeah, because obviously he coached the Chinese, the last one. Of course, they're not in. Oh, yeah, because Charlie got in because of the host last time. Pluto! Rude. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So the reason why Italy's there. Pluto! God, oh God. Are we doing Italy next? Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, bloody hell. Anyway. Czechia, you've got a great coach in Carla. Do well behind her, okay? And we'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.